The crisp morning air bit at Malik's cheeks, but it was nothing compared to the icy glare of Mr. Henderson, the CEO of Henderson Holdings. Malik stood on the meticulously manicured lawn of the Henderson estate, his landscape crew waiting by their truck. He was just the foreman, a young man with dirt under his nails and a dream in his heart. Mr. Henderson, a man whose tailored suits cost more than Malik's monthly rent, sneered down at him from his marble porch. "Boy, are you sure you know what you're doing? This isn't some backyard patch of weeds." "This is my legacy." Malik clenched his jaw but kept his voice even. "Yes, sir. We'll have it looking perfect for your daughter's wedding this weekend. I promise." Henderson just grunted, waving a dismissive hand before disappearing back into his mansion. For 2 years, Malik's small company, Green Legacy Landscaping, had serviced Henderson's properties. They'd worked tirelessly, often for delayed payments, and always under a cloud of condescension. Henderson saw Malik as nothing more than the help, a disposable tool. He had no idea that every clipped hedge and planted flower was a step towards Malik's real goal. The week was brutal. Malik and his team worked from sunrise to sunset, transforming the sprawling grounds into a paradise. They laid fresh sod, planted hundreds of white roses, and strung delicate fairy lights through the ancient oak trees. On the day before the wedding, as they packed up their tools, Mr. Henderson emerged again. He walked the grounds, his expression unreadable. He stopped in front of Malik. "It's adequate." He pulled out his checkbook, scribbled a number, and tore it out. "Here, don't expect a tip." Malik looked at the check. It was for half the agreed-upon amount. His heart hammered against his ribs. "Mr. Henderson, with all due respect, our contract was for double this." Henderson laughed, a short, barking sound. "The contract was for a job well done. I find your work merely adequate. Take it or leave it. There are a dozen other crews who would kill for this job." He started to turn away. "But my men, I have to pay them," Malik pleaded, his voice tight. Henderson paused, his back still to Malik. "That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem." With that, he walked away, leaving Malik standing there, humiliated and furious, the useless check fluttering in his hand. That night, Malik couldn't sleep. The insult burned. He had poured his soul into that project, not just for the money, but for the pride of his work. He'd always believed that hard work and integrity would win in the end. Henderson had just spat on that belief. Malik looked at the picture on his knit stand. His grandfather, a sharecropper who had always dreamed of owning the land he worked. His grandfather's words echoed in his mind. "Son, they can own the land, but they can't own your spirit. And never let them steal your dignity." The next morning, the day of the wedding, was a whirlwind of activity at the Henderson estate. Hundreds of guests in their finest attire mingled on the lawn Malik had perfected. The string quartet played softly. Mr. Henderson stood near the floral arch, beaming, accepting congratulations. He was the king in his castle. Suddenly, a fleet of black luxury cars pulled up the long driveway, far more impressive than any of the guests' vehicles. They parked in a neat line right in front of the main entrance. The music faltered, guests turned and murmured. The door of the lead car opened, and a man in an impeccably sharp, custom-made suit stepped out. He was tall, confident, and commanded attention. Following him were several other men and women in business attire, carrying briefcases. Henderson's smile froze on his face. He squinted. The man looked vaguely familiar, but no, it couldn't be. He looked like he owned the world. The man walked directly towards Henderson, his expensive shoes silent on the soft grass. As he got closer, Henderson's jaw went slack. The man was Malik, but this wasn't the landscaper in work boots and a dusty t-shirt. This was a man of power. Malik stopped a foot from Henderson and offered a cool, polite smile. "Mr. Henderson, what a lovely day for a wedding. The grounds look adequate." Henderson stammered, his face turning a blotchy red. "Malik, what is the meaning of this? Who are these people? You're trespassing." Malik's smile didn't waver. He gestured to the woman beside him, who opened a leather portfolio. "These aren't just people, Mr. Henderson. This is my legal team. And this," he said, pointing to the documents she held, "is the deed to this property." A collective gasp went through the crowd. Henderson just stared, his mind refusing to process the words. "You see," Malik continued, his voice calm but ringing with authority, "for the past 2 years, while I've been mowing your lawn and trimming your hedges, I've also been working with a consortium of investors. We've been quietly buying up your debt, all those risky ventures, those over-leveraged deals. They all came due this morning. You defaulted. My consortium, which I am now the majority partner of, has acquired all of Henderson Holdings' assets in lieu of payment. That includes this house, this land." He let the words hang in the air, each one a hammer blow. "Technically, Mr. Henderson, you're the one who's trespassing." Henderson's face was a mask of disbelief and horror. No, this is impossible. You're a gardener, a boy." "I was," Malik corrected him gently. "I was the boy you underpaid, the man you disrespected, the professional whose integrity you tried to buy for half price. You thought you were just looking at a landscaper, but you were looking at your successor. You saw dirt on my hands and assumed there was nothing in my head." Malik took a step closer, his voice dropping to a near whisper so only Henderson could hear. "You know, that check you gave me yesterday, I had it framed. It's a reminder. A reminder that some people only value you for what they think they can take from you. But true value, true legacy, isn't built on what you take. It's built on what you create. It's about respect. A lesson you never learned." He then raised his voice for the guests to hear. "As the new owner, I won't be so cruel as to ruin your daughter's wedding day. Please enjoy the party, my gift to the bride and groom." He gave a slight nod. "But by noon tomorrow, I expect the property to be vacated." Malik turned without a backward glance and walked back to his car, his team following him. He didn't look back at the ruin of the man he left behind, a man who had built an empire of arrogance only to watch it crumble at the feet of the gardener he refused to pay. As the car pulled away, Malik looked out the window, not at the mansion, but at the ancient oak trees, standing strong and tall. His grandfather was right. They could own the land, but never the spirit. And today, Malik owned them both. Remember, never underestimate anyone based on their position or the dirt on their hands. The person you look down on today might just be the one you're re-looking up to tomorrow. Real power isn't about wealth or status. It's about integrity, vision, and the quiet dignity of hard work. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that empowers and inspires. See you next time.